Hi everyone, this is Mehdi Harris, and I am recording these videos um, for my urban data and GIS courses that I teach at Hunter College. Um, in the previous video, I showed you how you can set up your VS Code environment and Anaconda. Um, Now I'm going to show you how you can um, basically download a notebook and start using it. So I have uploaded some notebooks in my Git repository here in the Urban Data Analytics. You can connect to um, GitHub using Git, or you can just manually download these notebooks and start using them. For now, I'm going to just manually download these notebooks and show you how it works. This is basically how to start Python programming. I'm going to download it. So it is in my download folder. I usually like to organize my files in a specific way um, so I don't lose my files. So I move this um, notebook to I have a folder and I organize my files and folders on there. Here are these codes. I paste it here. So the notebook is now here in the right folder on my computer. Next is I'm going to start VS Code. Let's open VS Code um, and then we will try to open the notebook. So the best way for me, at least, is opening a folder. So I would like to open my entire teaching folder. That way, when you do that, you will see the content of that folder also. So there are three subdirectories in that folder. And I can see that one of them is this notebook. Um, if you have any data, would be under those polygons. So the first thing is opening this notebook. Um, a few things about notebooks. This is a text or markdown text. You see it as just text, but you can in fact edit it. If you double click on that, you can see that this is editable text, and you can just basically use Markdown language um, to organize your text, having multiple settings and um, multiple headings. So when you want to run, basically run a cell like a cell like this, we have to connect to our environments. If you already have installed the extensions, I'm going to say I'm going to connect to my Python environment, and it is asking me which environment you want to connect to, and I'm just saying, okay, UDA. And now it is getting connected to the kernel of that environment. Um, and once that happens, you're going to see that this check green checkbox is here. So that means that we are connected to environment and we are able to run or code. Um, so these are texts. We so you have the text. Um, for the text cells, you can use just this check to say stop editing, so that you can see how the text looks like. You can This is a Python code. You can edit it, and once you are done with your editing, you can run it. So each of these are one cell. This is another cell. So we have the level 3 headings here. And we can just also do that. So these are all um, some basics about notebooks. This environment basically we call it a notebook. You can add cells above or below this cell. To add a cell, you you can use this icon here. So you can say, hey, add a code. Then you can also delete a cell using this delete cell. As you can see, um, um, you can also add a markdown cell. So I can add a markdown cell, and then I can just say this one is a markdown cell. So um, that's how it works. And there's another concept here I would like to mention. You see that this cell and this cell, this one, when you compare this one and that, you have an, a blue outline here. You don't have that blue outline here. That means that this cell is an active cell. It is, we are in the editing mode for this cell. This one is not. Um, so if I hit escape, see that now this cell is not an active editing cell. So you can imagine that you're outside of the cell. I'm inside, escape, outside of the cell. Being inside the cell, your keyboard is going to just basically whatever you type, it is, your keyboard works like that. But there are a few short keys that we can use when you're outside of the cell. One is A, if this should not be active. So hit escape, this is not active, and when you hit A, you create a cell above the cell. If you hit B, you create a cell below the cell. Um, this is an active cell. I can edit. If I hit escape, it come out of that cell. If you type DD, um, then that would be deleting the cell. You can also see that here. So you see delete cell is DD. So hitting D twice, that deletes that cell. In the cell, outside of the cell, DD. So these are some basics about these notebook cells. Again, this is a text. You can see or how the text is organized. Um, and when it comes to Python, you can start basically exploring these things. These are pretty self-explanatory, and we talked about these. You can basically assign a variable. This is a an integer variable that we put a um, whole number in it, named population. That's a name. We just decide to have a variable that is population. It stores population value in it. This is another variable. This is a string or text um, variable, and this is a float variable. Yes, we assign the variable name area with that number, and this is a true, false, or boolean variable. So these are the list of variables. You can see that this is the print, how print function works, and a few other things. All you need to do is just running these things and see what you get. And if you want to practice, make sure that you are outside of the cell using escape, and then use B to insert a cell below the cell. And now you can basically say A is 10, B is 20 or 30. uh, and you can say, okay, I'm assigning two variables. Um, you can use Control Enter to run this active cell. When we say run, meaning that just basically clicking that um, icon, or you can use Shift Enter. The difference is that it runs this cell, executes this cell, goes to the next cell. You can say Shift Enter again, goes to the next cell. So it runs and executes that cell and then goes to the next cell. So this is how you can basically run every cell. Let's just create a cell below this using B, and then I can. This is not an active cell, but my cursor is still here. So if I hit Enter, I am in the cell now, and I can say, okay, for example, what would be the A plus B? So this is the output of this cell. This is not editable. We cannot edit that. This is the output. Whatever this cell spits out comes here. So if your cell has an output, you're going to see it here. Sometimes you run a code doesn't have an output. It just does a task for you. This one has an output, and the output is the whatever this print function is doing. So you can see that. So after all of those edits, you can go ahead and save your notebook, and you can basically, um, if you are managing a Git repository, you can upload this to your Git repository or push this to your Git repository, an updated version. Or if you are just holding it on your local disk, you can just um, save it. And that was just some basics. There are more into this notebook. I let you just go through it and learn. You might not understand this part, for example, what elif block is doing. You can simply just Google what is elif doing. So, um, or use generative AI to get some answer on that. Um, those are some, um, just being in, it helps you to be independent and learn how to do things and troubleshoot. Another interesting thing when it comes to the writing code is you can see the indentation here. That's after this colon sign. So um, usually the indentation is the block that it is going to be. Basically, it is a sub block of this branch. So in this case, this if has this branch, then comes out of that, goes to this one, and then this is under that elif. Um, and so this is how the code is organized. Good luck with playing with this and learning. I hope this was helpful.